a couple of weeks ago, it might have been last week, somebody asked me if I would be making an Easter project. And I did do several in the month of February because we had the bunny hugs inspiration box. But I thought, well, I'm not completely done. That was a really cute box. So I'm actually going to use a few items from that box and a different stamp set. And okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera view. Okay, and let's see. Let's get going on what we're making today. Today we are going to use several things. One thing I wanted to use was I've had this little stamp set in my collection for a while, and it's so cute, and I haven't used it yet. So I asked Michael if he thought it would be a good thing to promote for right now, even though it's not like our inspiration box or anything right now. It's just kind of, it's on its own, but it's so cute. This is the Bunny Kisses, I believe. Bunny Kisses. The Bunny Kisses stamp set. And it's got really cute sentiments. It's not even an Easter set, but I think it's cute for Easter. This has Happy Mother's Day, Happy Father's Day, and congrats on your new little one. And you can see this just cute little bunny. All right, so we're going to use that. And we are going to use some of our paper from the Bunny Hugs paper collection. We're going to use this cute pink paper. And this is available now. It was in the inspiration box for February, but it is now sold separately. So jump on that as well.
Move your Christmas dies.
They're in the way?
No, you're using them right.
Oh, I am using them, yes. Okay, and then we're also going to use some of the stamps from our Kind Blossoms set and some of the dies. So I have to tell you that I love this set, and I love our fence builder set. This is the birdhouse scene builder, and they have all of these little cute things to build birdhouses and flowers and birds, and I use these little dies all the time too. You can see there's little fence pieces. We're going to use this one today, not to make a fence. You'll see exactly what we're going to use that for. We're going to make a pull tab card, for lack of a better term. We're also, oh, I should tell you, we're going to use conversation clippings and ribbon also from Bunny Hugs. But I'll probably go over that again as we're going along. So we'll just kind of get going. I'm using some honeysuckle cardstock. And I'm also, I didn't even mention this, we're going to use the Blanket of Bloom stencil, which I absolutely love. And I typically would not put these colors together, but I think they're fun in this pattern. I'm going to kind of mimic the flowers. I thought these were kind of fun. They reminded me of these flowers. So we're going to use some Simon Hurley Slippery When Wet on our honeysuckle. And like I said, that's kind of a weird combination for me, but I think it'll work just fine. So we're going to try it out. So I'm just going to do this with this because I can still use it just fine. Now, it's not as sticky as it would be, but it's sticky enough for what we're doing right now that I am thinking it's going to be just fine. So what I did was I took my card. Sorry, I didn't tell you this part. This is going to be our card base. And I'm just going to open it up and fold it right over the top. And then, so that our card front will be just like this. And then I'm going to get my stencil where I want it.
Over to the left, right, left, Shannon.
Yeah, I moved. It's just delayed. Yeah, thanks though. And now I'm just going to take a blending brush and my Slippery When Wet ink, and I'm just going to create our pattern. And I could probably tape this if I wanted. I could do whatever. But honestly, for what we're doing, I think this already had a little bit of pixie spray on the back of it from before. So I'm pretty casual about this. Not being too nitpicky. So we just want to make sure we've got all of the pattern, and it is going to mostly be covered up, so you don't have to be too crazy, but you want to get around the edges probably more than anywhere else. Okay, now I'm going to take this off, remove my card base, and then I've got another piece that I've got cut. I've got a square.
Anne-Marie said hi.
Hi, Anne-Marie. So I've got a little square out of the honeysuckle. This, I believe, is 2 3/4. Let me just measure it really quick. 2 3/4. 2 3/4 square. And we are going to just set that on our mat as well. You may be wondering why I'm using this mat instead of my other one. I've got stamps all ready to go in my stamp platform, so I didn't want to mess with it. I've just got them all set and ready to go. So we'll just also do our stenciling on our little piece, and you will see where that will go. And I believe that is all. Well, we have one more thing we'll do with that, but for now we can set that aside. We'll set our stencil aside. All I'm gonna do to clean off my stencil is I'm gonna use a little bit of Squeaky Clean. And my microfiber cloth is in my wash, so I'm going to use this other one that a stamping buddy gave me. Shout out to Jen, by the way. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Now I don't have to worry that my stencil's not clean. All right, so now we'll go on to the next thing. The next thing we're going to do is let's look at our paper. So I already have this piece cut out, but I'm going to tell you how I cut it. So I cut our panel to, let's see, 4 3/4 long by 3.5 wide. And then this right here is that little piece from our birdhouse scene builder from this guy, this piece right here. And we are going to slide a tab. This is kind of like a waterfall card, only more simplified, and it looks more like a tag. So you'll see as we go along, but this is how we're going to have that set up. So now I've got this mat out of Harvest paper and this mat also. So this one is 4 by 5.25, I believe. I'll just double check, but I'm pretty sure. Nope, it's good I checked. It is 5 inches long and 3 3/4 across. Okay, so that it makes just the right mat. I forgot that I had made it a little bit smaller because I wanted more of our border to show. Usually I would do it 1/4 of an inch more, but because I wanted to have more border, I did not. That's what threw me off. Okay, and now this is going to be the mat for this guy. Nope, for this guy. Sorry, we're also going to cut a piece of white. I'm sorry, I'm a little crazy here. We've got this piece here. We'll keep those over there so that I don't get confused. Okay, this one is cut at 3 1/4 square. And this is a mat for this one that's going to be 3.5, I believe. No, 3, sorry, 3 1/4. So this one's 3 inches square, and this is where we're gonna do all of our work right now. So we are going to take our yellow again, and honestly, I don't know that I need to really ink my brush because it probably has enough on it that I think we are good. See, that's all I need is just a little bit of sunshine coming up from the top. And now this is going to be where we set our bunnies. It's going to be the background for that. So now we'll take a little bit of our Simon Hurley Breakup Blue and create kind of a sky. And you can just make it as dark as you want or as light as you want. I think I'm going to go a little bit light, a little bit darker. I like a pretty vivid sky. And is everybody shocked I didn't use clear skies for this? That is my very favorite Simon Hurley ink. But, you know, you got to mix things up sometimes. And this one goes with this blue a little bit more. So I'm not too worried about the bottom because the bottom is going to have some grass. And that is where our Kind Blossoms set is going to come in. Just going to make sure, I'm just going to spray my cloth just to make sure we don't have anything left over from our ink blending. Okay, so now let's just take care of that right now. that we'll do in a minute. This we'll do right now. So I'm going to just ink up all of these images. I want to leave enough room because we're going to stamp this one little thing of grass twice because we want, I don't know if we'll use it twice, but I just want to have it handy in case we do. And this little guy doesn't want to stick. There we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my Raven ink and let's take care of the bunnies first because they will be our main focus. And these little guys are so cute. So when I was growing up, my mom had our spare bedroom. I was the last kid at home, so there was a spare bedroom. And I'm also the youngest of 5. So I have older siblings that are like 12 and 10 and 11 years older. No, not 11. 12, 10, and 9 years older than me. And 3 years older than me. So they started having kids when I was like 12. So my nieces and nephews are kind of the halfway mark, some of them. And my mom had this room that they all loved because my mom collected bunnies. And so we just called it the bunny room. And the whole bed was just filled with just cute little stuffed bunnies that just tickled her fancy. And I think eventually she kind of got tired of them, so she just let all of the kids pick which ones they wanted. And the grandkids thought that was pretty cool. But whenever I see bunnies, I think of my mom and her little bunny room. Okay. So now I think I showed you last week, I made this little tool. I just used an old acrylic block because I don't really use them that much anymore. I use them a little bit, but not a lot. And I just used a piece of felt that actually had adhesive on the back of it. But you could put your own. Who said that?
Rebecca?
Rebecca, isn't it cute? It's a fun set. It has so many possibilities. I do too. I'm excited to play with them today. Okay, let's see how we did. We did pretty good. We need to get a little bit more of this tulip and this grass. I have had this stamping platform pretty much, I want to say it's been like 8 years or so. It's been a long time. And so I wouldn't doubt if it's got a little warping in it. I don't know. It could just be me and the way that I am pushing, but I think it's done a fabulous job for a long time. So I'm not complaining, but it might be time to upgrade to the new model. Okay, so hopefully we've got it now. We kind of know where we need to push. And I like a nice bold image anyway. Yep, we're doing good. Let's get that tulip one last time. And anytime that you are stamping a bunch of images at once, you kind of take that risk. Okay, so I'm taking my magnets off for a minute so that I can peel my image away from my stick and stamp mat. There is a video on the Brutus Monroe channel if you want to know more about how to care for your stick and stamp mat. This is pretty simple because we didn't get anything on it. So I'm going to just replace my film on it. And I think...
Gina said those bunnies are so stinking cute.
Aren't they adorable? I'm telling you what. I knew I had to use those. I'm going to clean those stamps after. Okay, so now we're going to do the easiest coloring on the grass as possible. I think we will just... First, let's do the bunnies. They're the thing that I think is going to take me the longest, so let's just start with those. So this is brown-gray blend of the Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers. So let's do one of our bunnies this color. And we'll start with the lightest color and kind of go from there. I probably honestly should heat set this. The good news is I'm using gray, so it's not super apparent, but I think we might want to heat it up a little bit before we do anything any lighter or in another color. So thank heavens I started with that color. All right. Now, if you are not familiar with alcohol markers, typically, I mean, there are a few different ways to do it, but typically you start with the lightest color, and the tri-blends are wonderful because they have all your colors in one marker. So you don't need to have like 3 different markers. And then they have the darkest color, and then the middle color is in the middle of the marker. So you've got 3 markers in one. So typically I will do the darkest color second. I'll do the lightest color first, and I will just kind of pick a few areas where I think there would be a lot of shadow. And this stamp set is so nice because it kind of took care of that for me. It kind of already put those little, is it hash marks? Is that what they call them? To kind of get us going on that. And I'm just kind of messing around. I'm doing this very loosely. It's kind of a nice loose sketch. I don't think it needs to be an uptight, precise thing. Now I am being careful as I can. Knock on wood. I'm trying not to bleed over the edge. If I'm gonna bleed, I would rather bleed that way. Actually, I don't think it's gonna matter because I'm gonna fussy cut these anyway, but I might leave a little edge around it. Okay, so now we've got 1 bunny down, 2 to go. So I've got some ice gray that we're going to use next. And let's use that on the mama bunny. We'll start with the lightest color again. What do you guys like to use when you color? What are your favorite mediums? And you might notice that my markers are 2 different colors. They changed the packaging. Okay, so now we just got to decide what we want to do with this little bunny. I'm not sure that I have an extra color. I might have a brown. Maybe we'll just see if we can find a different brown. So now I'm just going in with that darkest shade of the gray.
Gina said she loves Copics and Zig real brush markers.
Oh, I haven't tried the Zig. I do love Copics, but I think these are great if you are just starting and if you are limited on funds and you just want to buy all 3 markers in one. They both have their...
She loves watercolor and I'm a big fan of colored pencils.
I love the look of watercolor, but I have such a hard time listening up to enough to make it look good and trust the process. But I keep trying. I haven't given up yet. But yeah, I love colored pencils too. Louisana is a very, very good color. She's taught me a few things. That is for sure. All right, I think that's a good color for that little guy. So now I think I am going to pull out a colored pencil.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Let's see. I feel like they just need a little bit more color, but I don't really want to use anything too dark. So I think we'll just use maybe Luminance. I also like Prisma, but this is what I have handy, so bear with me for a second. I wasn't even going to pull these in, but I just feel like they need a little more color than what they've got right now. So this color is just kind of a vanilla color. We'll just do a little bit of that, just at least to kind of make it not so stark white in the middle. Just get the inside of his ears and such. And again, I'm still coloring really loosely. I'm not being super precise. And now let's grab a couple colors for the mom and dad bunnies. Let's see what I got here. This is kind of a taupe color. I think we'll use that one a little bit here. And I would probably take a lot more time if I wasn't just doing this live. But, you know. Ah, yeah, they are really nice. This was my surprise from Darren for my birthday.
She said last year Lily found a huge bin of Copics that were all 99 cents.
What? Way to go, Lily.
I see it because I was down the other, I think, more closer to her level, so I bought every color they had.
I would too. That's a great deal. And duplicates. Cheaper to do that than to even buy the refills. That's awesome.
Rebecca said Luminous is the gold standard of color pencils.
These really are nice pencils, I have to say. I quite enjoy them, but they definitely are an investment. Darren spoiled me rotten. I had no idea that I was getting these. They've been on my wish list on Amazon for what? Forever. And I thought they would remain there pretty much forever too, but no, he spoiled me. Okay, so I've kind of left a little spot because I am one of those people who just likes to give animals and such cheeks. I just think it's fun. And see, these also have a little blender. We'll just use that a little bit just to kind of soften. So I just want to move a little bit faster through this. Like I said, it's not really a color pencil kind of a tutorial. It's more, I want to show you all of the really fun products. I mean. I use the words project and product all the time. And so sometimes I get a little tongue-tied because they are so similar. Okay, we need a pink. I like this pink and I like this pink because they are kind of a peachy pink. So they just kind of come off a little more natural. And I probably should be using a little bit lighter of a hand. It looks like we might have to use the blender to just kind of take off a little bit of that harshness. But we'll give her a little bit of a cheek there. We'll give this little guy some cheeks. We'll give this one a little bit lighter cheeks. And maybe we'll add just a little bit into the ears. And like I said, you could spend forever refining what you color. And I actually love to when I'm not live. But there's the basic gist, right? So I'm just going to soften that a little bit. Kind of take out the harsh lines a little bit. Oops. That's why you heat set it. I kind of just dragged the ink over a little bit, but that's okay. It isn't a tragedy. We're still going to be okay. Okay, I think we've spent enough time on that. So now, let's color our flowers. And I think we will go ahead and use just our tri-blend markers for that. I think those will work just fine. I just didn't want the bunnies to be too harsh. You know what I mean? Okay, let me just set these down. Okay, so let's use some blue to kind of mimic the blue tulips. Hopefully our ink has had enough time now to dry that I don't think I've ever seen a blue tulip, but that doesn't mean a lot. I haven't seen everything there is. Have you guys ever seen blue tulips? Do they exist natural in the natural world, or are they man-made if they're out there? Going back to my lightest color to just blend it all together. So we've got one bloom down. Let's see what color this is. I think that'll work okay for the pink. This is called, that blue is called True Blue. They exist on Google, okay. True Blue, well, and you know everything on Google is real, right? Pale Pink Blend. The best part of creating your cards is that anything can exist when you're doing that. You can have polka dotted flowers, you can have stripes. Well, I guess both of those things kind of do exist, but you know what I'm saying. You can create whatever you want. I think let's use the dull green blend. for the stems. And I'm not gonna get into shading those a whole lot. And we're not even gonna do any of that on this. Oh, I was gonna do 2 of those. That's okay, we'll just do 1. It'll still work. So now what we're gonna do is even more simple. We're going to just grab our blending brush. And this is Later Gator ink. And I'm just gonna do the grass. And you know what, we may as well just do the same thing with this grass. Done. Best way to color on alive right there. So now we've got dies for all of these. We've got, I showed you that these were from the Kind Blossoms set, and the Kind Blossoms dies coordinate. So we've got our grass and our flowers. And I don't have a die for the bunnies, but thankfully they shouldn't be too hard to cut out. So let's just get these guys going really quick. And then we can see what the mechanics of this card are going to look like. I think we're good. I'm going to hurry and cut those out. I always take my dies off of my paper right away because I have come so close too many times to throwing my dies away with my scrap paper. Have you guys ever done that? Thankfully, I haven't actually thrown them out. I've just caught myself getting awfully close. Okay, so let's just quickly fussy cut down a little bit. And I'm not gonna cut it right down to the line like I sometimes do. I'm gonna leave a little bit of a border. When you're cutting around the edges, any time you can just, even if it's a sharp point, if you can kind of round the end of that off, it looks less obvious that you cut it out. Looks more finished like a die, I think. So like right here, we'll round it. We don't want to leave it sharp. Does that make sense? All right, we are almost there. Thank you for your patience. Okay, done. That wasn't too painful. So now we've got our grass. We can put our grass on our little panel, and then we'll put our little flowers on there. No, our little flowers are for the inside, sorry. Getting a little ahead of myself. I planned my card out, but I didn't actually put it all the way together, so it's one of those, I'm like, hey, hope everything goes together okay. So I just used some of the Easy Tear tape for that. Okay, so now we've got our bunnies, and it's okay that they're not all inside of that. I kind of like it when they come off a little bit, and then we're going to end up matting it anyway, so I'm going to use a few foam squares on this. I'm doing a lot of talking, sorry, I realized I'm like, I don't mean to monopolize the whole chat. Okay, so now, I know Darren sometimes is a little shy about interrupting me, but he's getting less shy about it, huh, Darren?
You have to be.
Yeah. Just like in real life, huh?
Yeah.
I'm teasing. Okay, so now we're just going to try to center that as best we can on our little mat. Okay, so now this is where all the fun stuff starts to happen. So we're going to take our little, where did my little grass go? I know I have another grass somewhere. You guys saw me cut it, right? I do have something I can do though, so we will just, like I said, improvise. Desperate times, you know. Okay, so now we've got our cute little flowers that we're going to use, and we've got this strip that we're going to cut. This is 6 1/4 inches long by 2 inches this way. So, I'm sorry, I'm just weirded out by that.
We just go with the flow.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. So now we're going to take this little strip of paper and we're going to score it.
The top, middle of mat.
Top, middle? No. Unfortunately not, but I do have a spare background. So we're just gonna use the grass on that. See, it's all good. We have an out, we're all right. Nothing we can't handle. Okay, so this, we're going to score at 2 1/4 and 2 inches. So I'll score it at 2 inches first. So I've just got my scoring blade, sorry, let me move this over, on my cutter. Hi Donna. I just seem to do better that way. I'm not really good with keeping in the grooves on my score tool. I don't know what my issue is, but I've just adapted. This is how I've adapted. Kind of like when I lose my grass. You do what you gotta do. Okay, so now that it's scored, we're going to go ahead and just bend in and just kind of burnish those lines a little bit. All right, so can you see that? So this is where the kind of waterfall part of this is going to come in. Okay, so this is where our tag comes in. So we are going to just take, I would have done this one, but I wasn't sure. It's a little bit more narrow than that. So we're just going to take this bigger guy. And the nice thing is we don't have to worry about it being too long because it's already folded up. There are ways to cut on your die cut machine. Usually, well, no, this one is solid, so I don't know how you would do that. I'll have to think that one over. There's probably a way. But because this one is already folded, all we have to do on this guy is just fold up. And then we're just going to center it and make sure it's kind of close to the top because we want a little bit of space there. And then I actually just taped it right to my die. Just want to make sure it's as centered as possible, as straight as you can get it. And then I sent it through my machine this way. But I already did this piece, so I'm just going to show you. Now you know how to do it. And the nice thing is you've got your little hole already there, and it's all ready to go. So this is just the remnants of the other side of the 6x6 paper. You can kind of see what was left over. So I just cut that. I think it's 2 inches. I didn't even have to cut the width because it was already cut because of this. And then it's okay that it doesn't go all the way to the end because you're not going to see this part. And then I actually just put it on the back as well, so that when you open the card, you can see it on that side as well. So just line them up. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Because I know I'm going kind of fast. Kind of fast and furious. Okay, so now we're going to put this guy together. So we've got our little slot out of our one paper, and we can actually, let's do this. It'll be easier if we put it in. I think it'll be easier to put it in. It'll help us know what we need to do next. So we are going to adhere this piece right here. So I'm just going to use some of our Easy Tear tape. You could use glue if you're more comfortable with glue. And then I'm just going to adhere that right there. Okay? And then I'm going to put adhesive just on this little line here. I think I will just go ahead and use glue on that. And we will adhere that think I have that in the right place. Now that I did it. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay. Like I said, I got everything ready to go, but I didn't actually put it all the way together. So it's an experiment, guys. It kind of always is. Because I could put it all together and still, when I actually go live, it doesn't always work out just exactly how I plan. Okay, so now we're going to push this right back through because we're going to adhere this little piece. And actually, you know, I'm going to take this off since it's not down all the way and kind of eyeball this a little bit so I know better where that's going to go. Let's tape that down.
Low.
So I want to make sure that this is going to be centered on my card pretty well. And we'll probably have to glue that some more, but I just kind of wanted to make double sure. Okay, so we're going to center this guy. You can center it with that one, or you can center it with this one since I have to redo that one anyway. I think I'll start with this guy.
Kelly says adorable.
Oh, thanks, Kelly. Okay, so I feel like we can push that down now. And now I feel like this would be better off with maybe some of this adhesive. Let me see if I have a thinner one. I thought I did, but I guess I don't have it handy. We'll just use this. No, are they the same? They're pretty much the same. So we'll use glue. Okay. There it is. I always lose my pen. I even have the square on the side of my bottle and I still forget to use it. One of these days. Okay, so now we can add this little guy. We're kind of gonna let that set for a minute. While it's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and put some foam. We don't want to put any on the tab because the tab needs to move.
Donna says it's starting to be fun.
Oh, thanks, Donna. Hopefully we still think so when the next step happens, because like I said, it's kind of going to be a surprise for all of us. So I'm getting a little bit more relaxed. I don't know if that's good or bad yet, but I tend to, like, usually I would plan every little thing out because I just get nervous and I know that I get nervous. But sometimes it's just because I just personally just haven't been able to make enough time. And sometimes I just think, oh, okay, I think that'll work. But I am getting a little bit more relaxed about it. So, and you guys are always so kind to me, even when I do mess up. So I appreciate that. But I do want to make sure I'm bringing things that are going to be of value to you too. Okay, so you can see we've got our little tag and it's going to flip open. We just need to do something cute with the inside, and that was where the grass was going to go. We'll just use this other grass. Yay, so we'll just use some of that. So now we're just going to add this.
Donna said she's afraid to make most attractive cards.
Donna, you know what? I am too. That's why I'm doing this. This is to help me exercise my brain as much as it is to help you learn something new and hopefully have the courage to try something new. Okay, so now we have room for a little sentiment here. We are going to use something from the Bunny Hugs. And I think we'll just do, I think Somebody Loves You would be cute for that one. With all the love you see with the little family on the front, that's pretty cute. So we will go ahead and use that one. And it's convenient too because it's right there at the front or at the top. So now I just need to trim down. I know you probably can't see this because my cutter's not going to fit all the way on there. But I'm just using my trimmer. All right. So we are just going to stick that in here, I think, all the way to the side, maybe. I kind of like that. Or, you know what? I might like it better on the bottom. What do you guys think? I'll hold off.
Action wobblers usually are go-to attractive card.
Action wobblers. Now, honestly, I haven't tried one of those. Maybe that'll be next on my list. So I've got a couple of ribbons here. This is the Bunny Hugs ribbon.
Yeah, Michelle said that.
Oh, Michelle, okay.
She's talking to Donna, I got confused.
You were just jumping right in there?
Yeah.
I also have a piece of blue just sitting on my table, but I don't think it's quite the right blue. I think we could get away with it if we want to, because we do have a lot of pink already going on. The bottom, I think so too. I kind of like the bottom too. Let's do that. Let's get that on there, and then we can get that on our card base.
Dawn said wobbles are cute.
I think the wobbles are cute too. Okay, so now we've got our little inside. And now we just need to add a little bit of ribbon so that we can add it to our card. And this is about the time that I'll find the grass, right? You guys agree? Okay. Or if I'm looking for something else I lost. Let's see, do we like the blue? Or do we like the pink? The pink is like right on the money pink. The blue's a little bit off, but I think where it's bunny anyway, it's from the bunny collection, the Bunny Hugs. Let's just stick with the pink. So I'm going to tie that before I stick it down because the hole is a little bit behind the panel. And just deciding if I want to tie it in a bow. Just have to fuss with my bow, you know how I am.
Carmen said that's adorable.
Thanks, Carmen. I think I've got that on there. See if I can be happy with that bow. Let's see, maybe I'm fighting against, that's what it is. Listen to your bow, it'll tell you where it wants to go.
Donna said you make such beautiful bows.
Donna, you are so kind. Thank you. All right, gotta get a hold of that. All right, so now we can put it on our card base. I'm just trying to decide if it needs, I think flat is good for that. I was gonna put foam squares, but it's already so bulky. I think we will keep it closer to the card base. All right. Now the next part is just to get it on there as centered as you can. It's close enough I can live with it, I think. Okay. So there we have our little flip card, our little pull tab. Thank you so much for watching today, you guys. I had a lot of fun. It was fun to try a new thing. I like these interactive cards. I like kind of stretching my brain a little bit and trying out something new. My brain is definitely not one of those mechanical brains. Darren has more of a brain of how the mechanics of things work. He he was a drafter, so I guess that makes sense, huh? But thank you so much for joining me, and I will have something new for you next week. In fact, it'll probably have something to do with the new inspiration kit. All right, well, thanks again, you guys, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.